Hi everybody, Rechief here, and welcome back to yet another exciting episode of Let's Play Ace Attorney Investigations, Miles Edgeworth, Prosecutor's Path, Episodes 1 through 5 Beta. Welcome to what may be the last episode of this playthrough. We'll see. I think there could easily be 2 more as well, but basically I'm just going to keep going in this episode for as long as I can, either until this case is over, or until my voice just gives out from doing voices. One of those two things is going to happen. Also, I apologize if my microphone is picking up any extraneous noise. Apparently, a construction crew has decided to run a jackhammer in the alley outside of my apartment. So that's always exciting. Always really glad when that happens. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started with the showdown. Miles Edgeworth versus a monkey clown. Let's do this. Ooh, baby. Ah, Mr. Edgeworth. Are you guys here for the show? Mr. Keys, Miss Barry. You're a little early. I'm sorry, but we're still getting ready. But I'm so happy you came. You remembered our promise. Yes, I remembered. You asked us to come and see the show, and you gave me this. I'm so happy you came. Please enjoy yourselves. I'm sure my performance will surprise you, Mr. Edgeworth. Your performance has already surprised me, Mr. Keys. But he hasn't performed yet. Regina, please have a look at this photo. Is this balloon the property of the Barry Big Circus? Ah, it is. Did you see it flying around somewhere? It's highly likely that this balloon was used by the culprit of the case we are investigating. Huh? Who is in charge of the balloon? Well, that would be Simon, but are you saying... Mr. Keys, you flew this balloon in the middle of the night, did you not? I do occasionally practice alone at night. I'm not much of a pilot, though. I'm a little clumsy. So for practice you'll do something as challenging as flying a balloon at night. Wouldn't that be rather difficult for someone who is clumsy and not much of a pilot? Then, what do you think I was doing, Mr. Edgeworth? You brought Kay to the roof of the Grand Tower in order to frame her for the murder of Jill Crane. Not a single security camera recorded Kay using the elevator. Therefore, the only way she could have gotten up there was through flight. And the only one who could have flown her up there was you, Mr. Keys. No way! Mr. Edgeworth, how can you say that? That's not all. You drugged John at the garbage pickup and kidnapped him. Wasn't that why you were late when you came to watch the trial of Patricia Rowland? No way. I have no idea what you're saying. There's no way I could do things like that. Please believe me, Mr. Edgeworth, please. I wanted to believe you. However, you have broken that trust yourself. That's horrible. Why would you say that? Didn't you once say that you would trust me? That you'd believe in me? Don't you worry about that. We're your allies. That's because we're like birds of a feather. Right, Mr. Edgeworth? Birds of a feather, I suppose that's true. We have sufficient information about your past. I doubt you had a motive to kill Knightley. Rather, you are probably the most affected by his death. And I doubt someone as timid as you could work up the courage to murder someone. All right. I'll get you out of here. We'll believe in you. I'm so sad. Those words were all lies. It wasn't a lie. We really did trust you. Kay, even you. You said we were like birds of a feather, and yet... I'm hurt, Kay. You've hurt me deeply. Oh... Hey, Mr. Edgeworth. Maybe Simon isn't a bad guy after all. I see. So that's how you operate. I understand now, all too well. No matter who you face, you find an emotional weakness and exploit it. You guide each person towards the outcome you desire, without them even noticing it. That is how you were able to mastermind the entire case. I may have fallen for your tricks before, but not this time. Simon Keyes, I indict you. So it's come to this after all. You were always so full of confidence, Mr. Edgeworth. But I rather like that, because now I can rip that confidence to shreds. Dang. Good work, everyone. His personality is completely changed. So, the animal tamer could not tame animals. That was all a facade. This is the real Simon Keyes. Simon, that's not true, is it? Truth or lie, what difference does it make? Huh? Mr. Edgeworth just made me a little upset, that's all. You'll take responsibility for upsetting me, right? It's true, I practiced with the balloon 2 nights ago. That photo must have been taken when the balloon and I passed near the building. I often fly around that area for advertising purposes. There's nothing unusual about that, right? You often fly around the Grand Tower in the balloon? Yeah, even the circus needs to advertise. Regina, is that true? Yep. It was Simon's job to advertise using the balloon. Most people who live around here should have seen it. That balloon was used in the crime we're investigating. Like I said, it's just a coincidence. I simply happened to pass by the Grand Tower when that photo was taken. I shall determine whether or not it was a coincidence after I hear your full story. I love that pose where all his pets are like forming an armrest for him. That's cool. It's true. I practiced with the balloon 2 nights ago. Was the balloon launched from this tent? There's a nice big park near the Sunshine Coliseum. I always launch the balloon there. I see. In that case, how do you transport the balloon to the park? Well, it's too heavy to carry by hand. It weighs several hundred pounds. And yet, it can fly in the sky. Amazing, isn't it? I asked you how you transported it. Now answer the question. Aw, I can't even make some small talk. You're mean, Mr. Edgeworth. I used a truck. The balloon is loaded onto the back of the truck. A truck? Yeah, the last time I took the truck and the balloon out was 2 days ago. I cannot overlook that piece of testimony. The last time I took the truck and the balloon out was 2 days ago. Allow me to confirm, you haven't driven the truck since then. Do you really need to confirm that? I mean, I just said it 5 seconds ago. Answer the question, or would it be inconvenient for you to do so? Haha, that's a pretty weak provocation coming from you, Mr. Edgeworth. What could be inconvenient about something I've already said? Fine, I get it. That truck has been parked behind the dressing room since 2 days ago. and the balloon and basket are still inside. Is there a problem? There's no problem. I simply wanted to express my thanks for that piece of testimony. So the truck was parked here for the past 2 days. Huh. That was exactly what I wanted to hear, Mr. Keyes. May I continue? So then, regarding the balloon. Okay, so I think we're probably going to have to go back to this piece of evidence and present something. But let's keep pressing anyway. That photo must have been taken when the balloon and I passed near the building. Hold it! You're saying it was simply a coincidence that you were photographed near the tower. Ah, I get it. I know how you operate now, Mr. Edgeworth. You'll insist that a coincidence is impossible until you get your way. When you say it like that, everything will inevitably go your way. How scary! Ugh, you're wrong. Mr. Edgeworth isn't like that. Okay, calm down. He's only trying to provoke an emotional response. And I, Miles Edgeworth, never show any emotions at all. He intends to goad us into losing our focus in order to derail the topic at hand. Now, why do you think he would do that? Because he's a clown. No, I mean, because he's trying to hide something, I guess. Exactly, Kay. We must not let up on him. However, we must continue to keep our composure. Understand? Yep. So, Simon, allow me as the assistant to ask you a question. When you passed by the Grand Tower at that precise at that precise moment, was it really just a coincidence? We could have just left things at that, but for the sake of your assistant, I shall explain my reason for being there. I often fly around that area for advertising purposes. So, in addition to advertising with the balloon, maintaining the balloon is also your job. Am I wrong? You're a real stickler for the details, you know. Yeah, that's right. Ask the boss if you want. Right, boss? Yup. Someone is in charge of cleaning and fixing all that stuff with the balloon. I don't think anyone besides someone has used the balloon for a while now. That confirms he was the one riding the balloon in the photo taken 2 days ago. However, if he is the mastermind, he must have used it today as well. Am I able to prove that? Looks like you're deep in thought. Is it really that hard to comprehend? Hot air balloons fly in the sky. And in other news, the sky is blue and the grass is green. There's nothing unusual about that, right? I wonder about that. You flew the balloon in the middle of the night, eerily close to a certain other incident. Would you say there's nothing strange about that as well? Mr. Edgeworth, isn't that like a really leading question? Won't you please stop being such a naughty prosecutor? It's kind of a downer. It's a clown's job to put smiles on people's faces, after all. He ducks and weaves around my questions skillfully. Very well, in that case I will simply have to make use of a more direct attack. We still don't know much about the balloon. In any case, I must draw out more information. It's true. Okay, we're back at the beginning. Okay, so the last time I took the truck of the balloon out was 2 days ago. So there's got to be some evidence that, you know, he's flown the balloon since then, or something like that. I don't think... Yeah, it's not anything in there. I don't think it'd be any of those. Maybe he's like... Maybe there's like a shot... Okay. I was hoping that like way in the background you'd just be able to see the balloon, and I never noticed it before, but I guess not. Probably not the hoof. Can you see... No, because that's not even facing really the sky, so you wouldn't be able to see it there. Honest testimony, blue... Ah. I bet that's it. Because I bet what we actually have to prove here is, like, that this wasn't a garbage truck, because I think we thought it was a garbage truck. This is actually the balloon truck. I'm going to put a pin in that and then keep looking. Can we see anything? No, not in that video. I'm all but certain there's a balloon... Okay, no. Oh, you know what? It could also be that we have to, like, play this tape, because this has the noise of the balloon firing up in it, and then that's us kind of saying, like, well, obviously you've taken the balloon out since then, because we've heard you using it. I bet that's it, actually. Let me try that. Okay, that's not it. Mr. Keyes, could you take a look at this piece of evidence? Well, what about it, Mr. Edgeworth? Don't you understand the significance of this piece of evidence? No, I don't get it. But you don't get it either, do you, Mr. Edgeworth? Ugh, so it wasn't this. Mr. Edgeworth, don't get caught up in your opponent's pace. Indeed, it seems I was a bit too careless. Simon Keyes, you won't get the better of me. Attaboy, Mr. Edgeworth. Steal the truth for great justice. Okay. So let's get back to where we were, which was Nicole's tape recorder. Probably nothing to do with that. Even though I love Sleepy's, I don't think it's that. And this is from 12 years ago. So, nothing to do with that either. That's also kind of old evidence. Probably not. Old evidence, old evidence, old evidence. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I think it's got to be the truck. Let's try that. Yes! The truck you put the balloon into, was it blue by any chance? Blue? So what if it is? Today we saw a blue truck carrying a large basket. If that truck just so happened to be yours, then your claim that you last used it 2 days ago becomes a lie. Oh, who's walking? Ah, ooh. Agent Lang, Ema. Mr. Edgeworth, I finally found you. I've been searching for you ever since the incident yesterday. I dashed right over after Kay contacted me just a little while ago. Prosecutor Edgeworth, the thing you were looking for, I found it. It was placed in a blue truck at the dressing room parking lot. Lion balloon data jotted down in my organizer. A blue truck, as I suspected. That truck is without a doubt the one I saw today. There are a number of blue trucks out there, you know. Who's to say you're not mistaking it for a different one? It's definitely that one. I got a good look at it. Huh? Mr. Edgeworth, was that? It wasn't me. Kay, words have no strength without evidence to back them up. Ah, that's Mr. Edgeworth's voice. Evidence. Present evidence. Do I have any evidence to prove that this was the truck I saw today? Huh? What's wrong, Mr. Edgeworth? Why are you touching the truck? The truck's body is cold to the touch. It seems to have been parked here for some time. You can figure all that out just by touching it? What could prove that this is the truck I saw? Oh! Oh, we have to dust for Edgeworth's fingerprints because he touched the hood of the truck. That's cool. I'd like to dust the truck for fingerprints. Huh? Fingerprints? What for? I don't see any point in that. A certain person's fingerprints should be left on this truck. And these fingerprints will prove this truck was parked in front of the Grand Tower today. Whose fingerprints prove this truck was in front of the tower? I thought we were going to do like select a portrait, but this is fine too. Edgeworth? Your fingerprints? Indeed. Earlier today I touched a truck at the plaza in front of the Grand Tower. I'd like to dust for my prince. Ema, might I request a scientific investigation? That's what I'm here for. Just leave it to me. All right, we're all set. Go ahead, Mr. Edgeworth. Wait, you want me to do it? Of course. Who else but Mr. Edgeworth would be up to the task? Here, I'll show you how it's done. All right then. You're the scientist, why don't you just do it yourself? First, we sprinkle some aluminum powder over the area you want to investigate. Like this. Touch the screen to sprinkle the aluminum powder. The powder will adhere to the fingerprints, so once you've sprinkled enough, you blow it away. Blow it away? Yeah, just blow on it with your breath. Whoosh. Blow the powder away by blowing into the microphone. Got it? Yes, I think so. I guess we'll do it for real this time. Just so you know, the key point is to sprinkle the powder all over. Okay. Am I missing something here? Oh, I guess I have to touch. I see, I have to touch. You know, I wonder how this is going to work because of the unique way in which I'm playing this game. If I'm not able to use my actual microphone to blow, then I might have to take a break and set this up and then come back. We'll see. First, let's just get this stuff all over. All over the thing. Okay, that's not gonna work. So I'll be right back, guys. I gotta fix this up so that I can solve this puzzle, and then so I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I'm back. Wasn't expecting to have to blow in the microphone for the first time ever during this entire game, but now I've got it set up, so we can go ahead and do this. Okay, clearly I have to put some more powder on here somewhere. Oh boy, this is going to be a laborious process. Really dust this up. So how we doing, everybody? Hope you are doing okay. Doing pretty alright myself. Had a nice satisfying lunch, ready to solve this case. Man, this game really has me hoping that we get an Ace Attorney Investigations 3. I don't know that we ever will, but A, I hope we get one. B, I really hope we get it in the States. Okay. Oh, what? Okay, good, we got it. We got one! That's a nice clean fingerprint. Yeah, it was nice and clean before, you idiot. I'm out of breath. Okay. Let's run the prints against mine post-haste. Alright, just leave it to me. Oh, sounds like we got a match. These are definitely your fingerprints, Mr. Edgeworth. Well, it seems to me that we have just proven your statement to be a lie. Ugh. What were you doing when you were driving this truck around? Just taking it for a joyride. Kay was abducted 2 nights ago. Your balloon was sighted not far from the scene. Today, there was another kidnapping in which a garbage truck was used. And once again, your truck was seen nearby. This all sounds like nothing more than a pure coincidence to me. So it was pure coincidence that you parked near 2 separate kidnappings. I doubt that. You were involved in both kidnappings, weren't you? Isn't it a bit rash to automatically assume that the 2 kidnappings were connected? And what if I had evidence to prove that the two crimes were performed by the same culprit? Oh, you're serious? I can't wait to hear this! What did Kay and John's kidnappings have in common? Let's see. What did Kay and John's kidnappings have in common? 2 nights ago, Kay and John were kidnapped by a clown. Okay, clearly that's not it. And this is all the old shit, so we, wouldn't be the balloon, right? Okay, no. This piece of evidence shows that the same culprit was behind both kidnappings. Oh? And just what part of that evidence shows that exactly? I'd say around here. Mr. Edgeworth, try to sound a bit more confident, will ya? You don't actually have a clue what you're talking about, do you? Ugh, he sure threw me. If the same culprit was behind both kidnapping cases, he must have used the same method. Oh, I think I know what it is now. Let's look at the evidence related to the kidnappings again. Right. Perhaps then all will become clear. What's wrong, Mr. Edgeworth? Run out of evidence? No. I have evidence, and I can prove that the culprit in both kidnappings was the same. I think it's Sleepy Zzz. Get a full night's sleep on all the night. I don't remember what the slogan was. Kay was knocked out with a powerful sleeping drug, and a bottle of sleeping drugs was found lying in the place where John was confined. The contents of the bottle were a match with the drugs used on Kay. Objection. So that's all you got, huh? And here I was, getting my hopes up. So the same sleeping drugs were used. So what? You think that connects the two incidents? Surely you must realize it yourself. That doesn't prove a thing. There must be something. Evidence that proves he's connected to those cases. The police, prosecutors, and even you, Mr. Edgeworth. In the end, you're all the same. You make up evidence as you see fit just so you can send some poor soul to prison. Isn't there someone like that here? A poor soul who was wrongly accused in the past? Objection! You're wrong. Who would do such a thing? Objection! Then show me the evidence. If you're gonna accuse me of a crime, it's only natural. Ugh. It's no use. I can't seem to find any other threads linking him to the kidnappings. Now then, have you finally run out of ammo, Mr. Edgeworth? I still have preparations to make at the circus, so if you'll excuse me. Objection! Now, you two, no need to get so heated. And Simon, you're looking good in that clown makeup. Hey, what's your deal? Don't just butt in like that. Uncle Ray's not so good in such a stiff environment. I mean, why so serious, right? Hey, Kay, how about a little trick? At last, my moment has arrived. The great Kay Faraday presents a Simon impression. Objection! Why, you... Enough already. Psst, hey, Miles. I'm buying you some time to get all your ducks in a row. There's probably a better way to stall for time than this, but whatevs. Woo! Nice one, Kay. I'm not so sure about this method either. But I have to find something that connects Simon to the case. And I need to find it now. Is there evidence not related to the kidnapping that's connected to the Mastermind's identity? That's it. The Mastermind is the same person as the young acolyte Dogan was looking for. If I could just connect the young acolyte to Simon... Which piece of evidence could be connected with the Mastermind's true identity? Well, this seems stupid because we just did this, but it's gotta be the memo, right? Like, this specifically links the Mastermind to Dogen, and Dogen said, like, oh, I think the Mastermind is the same one who did the Braille. So I think that's gotta be it.
Take that!
Okay, cool. Knightley and Dogen both communicated through a certain individual. Oh, then that somebody must be the Mastermind behind the case. That's it. The Mastermind played a role in the correspondence chess. If I can prove that it was Simon, then that's enough. I can't stomach any more of your sorry excuse for a performance. If you have no more objections, then I ask that you let me get back to preparing for the show.
Objection!
Thank you for the help, Mr. Shields. Though you may have taken it a little too far. You sure look happy. I take it you found something.
Look at me, I'm Simon. Simon's a clown. It's a funny, funny clown.
Okay, you can stop now. Now then, Mr. Keyes, do you happen to like chess? Huh, that was rather out of the blue. But since you asked, I can't say that I dislike chess. The Mastermind played correspondence chess with Searhan Dogen.
Objection!
If I recall, it was Knightley who'd been playing chess with Dogen, wasn't it? Are you saying that he was the Mastermind? There was no way Knightley could have been the Mastermind. The reason being, the Mastermind had continued to work behind the scenes, even after Knightley's death. That being the case, who could have written this letter? I believe someone acted as the middleman between Dogen and Knightley. So you're saying that you think I'm the middleman? And just why would I have to go all the trouble and do something like that? Most likely, to make it appear as if there was a connection between Knightley and Dogen. And as a result, Knightley was killed by Patricia Rogan. Dogen and Rogan. Of course, I see now. The connection. Okay. Knightley was killed by Patricia Rowland. No way. Are you saying it was all set up so that you'd be killed by her?
Objection!
What are you saying? There's no way I could manipulate a person that far. Look at me. It takes all I have just to get the animals to perform tricks! If only just a scrap of the letters he exchanged with Knightley still remained. It'd be decisive evidence. I'd like to investigate your room. There could be decisive... If it's the letters you're looking for, you won't find any in there. What? I'm the type of guy who throws his letters away as soon as he's done reading them. What's the point in living in the past? Does that mean he's already gotten rid of the evidence? Mr. Edgeworth, everything you've said so far has been nothing more than baseless conjecture. The evidence. I'm just one step behind it. What should I do? Am I all out of moves? Without evidence, I won't allow you to cast doubt on my friendship with Knightley. Who's that? Ah, excuse me. Miss Berry? What's on her mind? I've been listening in on what you all were saying, and, when you said Mr. Knightley, you mean Simon's friend, Mr. Knightley, right? Yes, that's correct. Does she know something? This morning, a letter arrived from Mr. Knightley. It was for Simon. What? What did you say? But that's impossible. Knightley's already dead. Miss Berry, please let me see that letter. Okay, here you go. Quick, open it. This is A correspondence chess letter. This is the response to Dogen's last move. Now, can you see the path to checkmate? I can't wait to see the look on your face. You weren't expecting to lose at chess against me, right? The postmark says March 26th, the day before Knightley's death. It seems the letter arrived late. Since the circus moves around so much, a lot of the mail people send us arrive late. Now, why was this letter addressed to you? This is proof that you were the middleman between Dogen and Knightley. Normally you would transcribe this letter into Braille before sending it to Dogen. And in doing so, you created a connection between him and Knightley. Damn it! Curse you, Knightley! Why must you continue to interfere? Simon, why? Wasn't Knightley your only friend? Ha! Don't be ridiculous. I stopped thinking of him as a friend 18 years ago. 18 years ago? Would that have been the day of the IS-7 incident? Thanks to Knightley, I nearly died that day in the snowstorm. While I was on my way to the contest venue, where my father was waiting, Knightley suddenly appeared. He held me down, tied up my hands and feet, and with tears streaming down his face, he kept apologizing. My dad's too scary. I can't disobey him. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Stop it, Horace. I promised my dad. I said I'd taste his desserts. If I'm not there, Dad'll be in trouble. I'm gonna let everyone know my dad's desserts are the best in the world. After that, he locked us inside a car. It was so cold I could see my own breath. Before we knew it, the doors had frozen shut, and not even he could get them open. And then, I lost my father. Your father? Horace Knightley was the son of the murderer who killed my father. What could this mean? His confession runs contrary to the information we have. But the name of the victim in the IS-7 incident was Isaac Dover. Isaac Dover is my father's name. 18 years ago, my memories were muddled from the shock of my near-death experience. So it wasn't until later that I learned the truth. On that day, my father was murdered. The culprit of the IS-7 incident was a confectioner by the name of Dane Gustavia. Huh! So that was the name of Knightley's father. That low-life scum of the earth killed my father. Just the thought of him makes me sick. So you knew who the culprit was all along? Ha! Of course not. Had I known, I would have tipped off the police a long time ago. All I knew was that Knightley's father was trying to set up my own father. That's why I immediately knew the one who died that day was my dad. Knightley had a hand in my father's murder. That traitor! He was the son of a killer! It's only natural that he ended up dead! It would appear that you were a victim of a very serious misunderstanding. Misunderstanding? Just what are you talking about? Isaac Dover. At the time, he was actively working as a sculptor in France, under the name Pierre Hoquet. Is that right? Well, I'm sorry to say I don't remember that at all. Huh. It's only natural you don't remember. After all, he's not your real father. Huh? What, is that supposed to be a joke? I am not amused. You won't be able to laugh at all once I reveal the truth to you. This piece of evidence proves that you are not Isaac Dover's son. Could it be somewhere in the IS-7 incident docs? Disturbance versus mansion. Okay, no. Oh, hey, duh. Because the police worked really hard to find Pierre Hoquet's descendant and then gave him that ring, so that's gotta be it.
Take that!
What's that? Isn't that Knightley's chessboard and his ring? I want you to take a good look at this ring's design. There are 2 letters inscribed in it. That is the seal Pierre Hoquet used as his signature. 18 years ago, it was found lying near the body of Isaac Dover. Why would Knightley have my father's memento with him? The police had found Isaac Dover's son and gave it to him. Isaac Dover's real son is Horace Knightley. What? But that means I'm... In other words, you are Dame Gustavia's son. That's a lie. After all, my father is... My memories are... I lost my father because Knightley locked me up in the car. That's why I thought it would be fitting if he were killed as well. Really? I'll be able to see a circus show, even in prison? I enjoy playing chess with you, but I'm looking forward to your performance as well. Yes, please look forward to it. All right, you better drop by again. I'll be thinking about my next move. Oh yeah, I've left something special inside that chessboard for you. You should check it out later. Something special? I'm not quite sure what you mean, but thanks. I owe you one, Simon. If only you hadn't stopped me 18 years ago, it wouldn't have had to come to this. Huh? Did you say something? Nope, not a word. Goodbye, Horace. Ugh. After all that, you're saying it was my father who killed Knightley's? Then that means... Was it all for nothing? I didn't want to become some weakling who could be killed by anyone. That's why I thought I'd follow in Mr. Dogan's footsteps. This finally proves it. Simon Keyes, you are Dogan's correspondence chess partner. And the mastermind behind this case. That's right! It was me! I'm the mastermind behind it all! He's finally showing his true colors. As you all know, I witnessed the incident 12 years ago. President Huang's assassination. So the child who drew that picture was Simon Keyes. When I was found out, I was subjected to horrible interrogations over and over by that heartless Patricia. I'd spend the nights trembling in my bed, terrified of what the next day would bring. I'm sure you can understand why I'd want to sneak out of there, right? However, Blaze would have likely sent pursuers after you. Exactly. I was on the run from them every waking moment, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. I couldn't even sleep at night. I'd jump at the slightest noise. And that's why I became a circus performer. Blaise de Besse was the chief prosecutor, and Patricia Rowland was the warden of the prison. No ordinary person would be a match for those two, and there were no adults I could rely on. Furthermore, behind the scenes was the body double who had sent those two in motion. Though he was a fake, I was up against a nation's president. Talk about utter despair, right? My only ally was Mr. Dogan. He saved my life, after all. He actually helped me out, unlike Knightley. If the story is true, it's ironic. Dogan, the fiendish assassin, was idolized by the child he saved. If I followed in his footsteps, I'd no longer have to worry about being eaten alive. That's right. Now it's my turn. My turn to devour those who would feed upon me! And I suppose you never thought to seek help from the police. No way, no way, no way! As long as Blaze was around, any evidence would be destroyed by him. Actually, didn't something like that almost happen today during Patricia's trial? I knew from the very beginning that things would turn out like this. The evidence from Patricia Rowland's trial. So he's saying that he expected the evidence would be destroyed. I see. So that's why you kidnapped John. To force a guilty verdict, even in the absence of evidence.
Objection.
Who's to say? But in order to expose the crimes of 12 years ago, there was no other choice. That's according to you. However, Blaze also attempted to kidnap John in order to manipulate the trial in his favor. Your methods are no different than those of the people you so despise.
Objection.
That's only if I were actually the kidnapper. But I would never do anything so evil. No way, no way, no way, no way, no way, no way! I simply just couldn't! Besides, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm actually quite thankful to the real criminals for giving me the opportunity to extract such sweet revenge. So you admit it. Your motive was revenge. Yeah, I admit it. So what? Sure, I held a grudge against those creeps. But it's not like I'm the one who actually killed them, you know? Truth be told, all I did was send some letters. I let Jill in on Blaze's secrets, and let Blaze in on Jill's secrets. And then the two simply ended up trying to kill each other. Do you mean to say that the murder was nothing more than a result of that? Yup, just like the case at Gourd Lake. It's way easier than trying to control wild animals. All I did was come up with the fake assassination plan for Knightley. So that was also a part of his plan. If that's the case, then Rook's murder was also your...
Objection.
Whoa! Don't try to pin that on me. Knightley killed him all on his own. Well, it ended up creating the perfect opportunity for me. It's funny how things work out. How can you say such a thing? It was the same for Patricia Rowland. I made it look like there was a connection between Knightley and Dogan by using the correspondence chess match and the chisel in the chessboard. What? You mean to say that you were the one who prepared that chisel? That's right. I thought it would bring Dogan to mind. Quite a thoughtful little gift, wouldn't you agree? And that was all it took to get Patricia to murder Knightley! Oh, the feeling that everyone around you is an enemy. I know it all too well. The tiniest spark can set off an explosion of fear, resulting in horrific mutual destruction. All I did was watch the comedy of errors unfold from the audience. And you were my final pawn, Mr. Edgeworth. A pawn? Me? When you solved their cases, you brought both Blaze and Patricia to their ruin. And the weapon that delivered the coup de grace was your own logic. I didn't solve those cases for your sake. Oh, I know. You never really cared about saving me. You just wanted to pretend to be a defense attorney, didn't ya? What did you... All I had to do was go, no way, no way, no way, and act all scared. And you totally believed me. You were giving it your all, trying to save me. So even your arrest was just a ploy to make me use my logic. To be fair, getting arrested wasn't part of the plan. when people began to suspect that the chisel I sent was the murder weapon. Honestly, I broke out in a cold sweat. I thought for sure it would be curtains for me. But then a turnabout of miraculous proportions! The genius prosecutor himself had come to my rescue. Well, doesn't it feel nice to be thanked by me, the one that you saved? You should be grateful. I gave you this chance to play the ace attorney. You're wrong. He wasn't pretending to be a defense attorney. Mr. Edgeworth is always serious about saving people. Even the times when he saved me in the past. Okay. Is that so? Are you sure he's not just trying to emulate his own father, the one he admires so much? Absolutely not. That's not true at all. Now, Kay. The person he's talking about now isn't Miles, but rather Simon himself. Clearly, he's not able to trust others. The desire to save someone other than himself is something he cannot even comprehend. Say what you want, but make sure you think about it long and hard. Sure, all my targets for revenge got what they deserved in the end. However... think about it. Can any one of my actions really be considered a crime? I instigated murder? There's not a single word about that in the letter, is there? If I had said the word kill even once, I guess it could be considered instigation. Well, maybe I did say it, but there's no way for you to prove it. What are you saying? You kidnapped me. I'm sorry, but that hasn't been proven yet, has it? The only thing I admitted to was sending the letters. Besides, those letters contain no threats or coercions. I simply conveyed information that each recipient would find beneficial. You crafty little... Can't we do something about it? What was it he said? Integrating murder? Instigating murder is when a person directs someone else to commit murder. The person who directed the murder can be charged as if he committed the crime himself. So we just have to find proof that he directed those murders. You make it sound so easy. To be honest, it kind of pisses me off a little. You're all trying to frame an innocent person for murder. Don't you understand? I'm not obligated to waste any more time on this pointless discussion. The police are waiting for you outside of this tent. You have nowhere to run. Really now? You think I wouldn't have an escape route prepared? For example, let's say I gave an order so that all the animals here attacked you. Now, what if I were to take my leave during the ensuing chaos? What'd you say? You can't be serious. It was just an example. Wouldn't that make for an interesting show? Here's another idea. What if I pulled out a hidden gun and took John hostage? That might be more exciting. I will never allow you to do such a thing. I can't tell whether or not Simon is being serious. However, when it comes to him, we should consider anything a possibility. If you continue to bore me with your drivel, I'll end the show right here. I'd like you to keep that in mind before you make any baseless objections. I cannot make any careless remarks. Isn't there some way I can charge him with his crimes? Boy. Well, the stakes have gotten higher, and Simon's voice is a little intensive to do. So, unfortunately, we're not going to be finishing this case today. I think we're going to have to do that next week. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Next time, with our lives on the line and hungry animals waiting in the wings, we see if we can defeat this clown in a weird circus-shaped court of law. See you next time!